Welcome back to the Daily Journal. So if you haven't already checked out the previous video, go check it out. We talk about the shorts that I took at the New York session for NASDAQ. And now we're going to follow on from that with the longs, which played out to the original bias that I had, right? So just to go over that quickly, these were my draws on liquidity, right? Previous week high, relative with the previous day high. And we had inverted this big gap. So this was basically guaranteed at this point. And so going to the session, we also had, we were in this bullish range. This is the range that I'm working within because price had closed above, after trading into this fair value gap, price had then closed above this point. So now this is the range that I'm working within, and price had traded into the H4 gap here. So looking down or going down to the 15 minutes. So this was the short that I'd taken. Now here's the thing. We're just in a range. We had swept the range high. We had already taken out the lows. We'd also had SMT here with ES. Pretty sure, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so ES had taken that out. So Asia's lows have been taken out, London's lows have been taken out, South side's been taken out. And here's the thing, we're in a 4-hour gap still, okay? When you look at what the 50-minute traded into, and this is what makes this an A+ setup, is 50 minutes swing low, a 15 minutes fair value gap, which is also a balanced price range. And where is this? So for me, that is an A+ setup. Once price closes above this level to confirm that as a change state delivery, this becomes an order block. And now we can drop down to the lower time frames and basically scalp all the way, knowing that the 10 a.m. is going to expand. Here's the 10 a.m. over here. Look at this power of 3, accumulation, massive manipulation. And here's the thing. The market maker trader talks about the double purge theory. You've taken out the highs, you've taken out the lows, and then that's where you get these massive expansions. And so we'll drop down to the 1 minute now. Since we have closed above that, we can look to targets. This is low-hanging fruits. That's the previous day high. That's the previous week high. So if you were to anticipate that, which I don't recommend doing, you could have just got chopped up here, right? Anybody who thought, okay, this is it, 10 a.m., let's go, you would have just got chopped up. So when I look at this, for me, this is a protected low over here. This is the first protected low because price has traded into that gap. Close above, and then that's now a protected low. You can see our price traded all the way down, and that was safe. But for us, we're now looking at this range over here. And so for me, this is the next protected low. And the reason being is because price has traded into this inefficiency. It also had, I don't know if it has, but let's have a look. Yeah, come into this order block, and then close above as well as above that. So this is the range that we're working within now. Here's that low-hanging fruit. And this is that 15-minute close, right? So now what we can do is wait for price to trade back into these fair value gaps, create an order block for us to trade from with a protected low. And let's wait. Okay, sorry. Things moved way too quickly then. Okay, so there we go. That's now a protected low over here. You can market order in, or you can use that as your limit order. I like to market order, and it's simply because you don't really have time. Usually what I'm doing when this when there's a gap like this, right? And I'll take you step by step here. Once this gap forms, I've already got this order right over here. Next candle, I'm like, okay, great. I'm already going like this and then waiting for the low to be confirmed, which it does. Now at that point, my stop loss goes here. I've got the magnet tool on, so it goes straight to it. And I've literally got my, create limit order. It's over here, and I've just got market order on, market order on. And depending on where the price is, or automatically calculate the risk, because I know where my risk, I've defined that level. So literally, once that closes, this candle closes, I've done a market order. And more often than not, you don't always get those levels. You sometimes do, but I mean, look here, for example, would you still be, well, how would you feel if you were sitting with a limit order there? So let's see how this plays out. Okay, so we've moved into this fair value gap. Now we are potentially going to create another projected low. What I like about this is the fact that it stopped right below our previous day high, which is the high time frame target. Okay, there we go. So we've closed above. Yeah, we have. So this technically is a protected low. That is a close, yeah. So technically that is. Doesn't look like it might get stopped out, but that's okay. And that's simply because prices just come into these inefficiencies here. It's respected them. Oops, okay, hang on. Let me just sort that out. Okay, so we're still holding on for these highest levels. Let's just move this up a bit. And yesterday when after making dinner, I came back and saw this. Actually, one of my friends, shout out to Musa, had notified me that we'd closed above that. And he was aiming for these highs and had been for the last few days, bringing drawn liquidity. And so where were we? I think this is where we were. And yeah, so it was on this pullback that, we had blasted through that previous day high. So we clearly weren't going to reverse from that. Typically, going into, I think it was lunch, I was like, okay, great. We're either going to come down to this 15-minute gap down here, but we had closed above that previous candle. So the trade that I took was, if we can close above that level over here, after visiting the gap over here, I'll just do a cheeky little market order like that. My risk was over here. And once price closed above like that, I just popped a quick little market order and I put my stop loss over here just to make it 1 hour. Just went for a cheeky little trade there. And it played out. So yeah, and what you'll find is once price had taken out those levels, you'll see that just went into consolidation. Right, those high time frame levels were achieved. And that was an absolute cracker. Whoever is, if you live in this time zone or around about this time zone, man, there's nothing better than expansion in 10 a.m. with the amount of volume in this session. So yeah. Anyway, if this gave you lots of value, guys, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.